Inner nervous coat of the eyeball, also known as the retina. The retina is the innermost coat of the eyeball. It consists of two layers, an outer pigment layer and an inner sensory layer. The space between the two layers contains a gummy substance that glues the two layers. The retina is present between the choroid and the hyaloid membrane of the vitreous. The retina diminishes in thickness from behind forwards. Anteriorly, it presents an irregular edge called ora serrata. Structure: the outer layer of the retina is insensitive to light and made up of pigmented cuboidal epithelium. The inner sensory layer of the retina is sensitive to light and is made up of photoreceptor cells called rods and cones, as well as numerous relay neurons, bipolar neurons, and ganglion cells. The very thin non-cellular continuation of the retina in front of the ora serrata covers the ciliary body and iris. Thus, the photosensitive part of the retina lines the inner surface of the eyeball posterior to the ciliary body. The nerve fibers arising from its ganglion cells covers inner surface and collect in the inferomedial region, where they pierce the outer two coats of the eyeball and emerge as the optic nerve. Histologically, the retina is composed of following 10 layers: outer pigmented layer, layer of rods and cones, which are the photoreceptor cells, external limiting membrane, outer nuclear layer, which are cell bodies of rods and cones, outer plexiform layer, inner nuclear layer, which are cell bodies of bipolar neurons, inner plexiform layer, ganglion cell layer, nerve fiber layer, and internal limiting membrane. Blood supply: the deeper part of the retina, that is up to the bipolar neurons, is supplied by the central artery of the retina, which is a branch of the ophthalmic artery, while the superficial part of the retina, up to the rods and cones, is nourished by diffusion from the capillaries of the choroid. Venous drainage: it is by central vein of the retina, which drains into the cavernous sinus. Clinical correlation: retinal detachment. In retinal detachment, there is separation of two layers of the retina, that is, pigment and neural layers. Appearance of the retina as seen through an ophthalmoscope. The posterior region of the retina, which is the fundus, can be examined by an ophthalmoscope, a procedure called fundoscopy. The following features are observed: macula lutea, a pale yellowish area near the posterior pole. It is approximately 4 millimeters in diameter. A small pit, which is 1.5 millimeters in diameter, in its center is called the fovea centralis, which is the point where light is normally focused. The fovea is the portion of the retina with maximum concentration of cone receptors, hence the site of greatest visual acuity, that is, the ability to see the fine images. Optic disc: a white spot about 3 millimeters medial to the macula. The depressed area in the center is called a physiological cup. The nerve fibers from retina meet and pass through this region of the eyeball to form the optic nerve. The blood vessels of the retina also pass through the spot. Since there are no photoreceptor cells in the optic disc, it does not respond to the light. Therefore, the optic disc is also called blind spot. The central artery of the retina enters the eye through the center of the optic disc. It divides into superior and inferior branches. Each of them further divides into temporal and nasal branches. The congestion of the optic disc from increased intracranial pressure is called papilledema, in which the optic cup is obscured and the disc margin is blurred.